BBC proudly presents Vernon and McCaddish Tea Time for Young'uns.
What hell? Bloody hell! Didn't see that, chap. Well, you're just in time for tea. What's that, Ellie? You want to know about the Civil War? How it all began? Well, guess what? You can join us on our quest for knowledge. We've got crumpets, marmalade, too. Yes, quite. But on to the story. You see, the Civil War didn't just begin. There were a series of events that led up to it. We've got just the thing. It's called Dudley's Road to the Civil War. But, McCaddish, it's rated R. Oh, shucks. Well, we'll have to cover Ellie's eyes for the scary part. And make sure to cover yours, too.
Oh, Frankfurters! Hello, chaps, and welcome to Dudley's Road to the Civil War. Did you know that the Civil War was the bloodiest war ever fought on U.S. soil? Before you hear about the Civil War, you should know how it all started. Let's hear from some authoritative figures on the subject, starting with the Northwest Ordinance.
Yes, the Northwest Ordinance. Let me see. The primary effect of the ordinance was the creation of the Northwest Territory as the first organized territory of the United States out of the region south of the Great Lakes, north and west of the Ohio River and east of the Mississippi River. That is the Northwest Ordinance for you.
For a long time, slavery has been an issue in the United States. Don't get me started on this, as I am strongly opposed. One of the first acts of the controversial was the Missouri Compromise in 1820. It summed up, it states that Missouri would be slave state and Maine would be free state. To balance things out, you follow? Yes, you like. Yes, and that is all I have to say about that. Oh, yes, and read my book. It is very good read. You will be edge of your seat, and you will be able to put it down. PJ, we're recording.
Oh,
What was that you were about to tell us about the Wilmot Proviso, was it?
well, the Wilmot Proviso in 1846 attempted to pass a bill which prohibited slavery in any new territories won by Mexico. This enraged the southern slave states, and it failed to pass.
Sarah, could you mind telling us about the Compromise of 1850?
Well, chess club starts in 20 minutes, so I'll make this frank. According to Lubricant's textbook, the Compromise of 1850 enabled California to become a free state, and in addition, a tougher fugitive slave law would be enforced. This made both the anti-slavery states and the slavery states happy.
When Harriet Beecher Stowe
wrote Uncle Tom's Cabin in 1852. It shed light on the cruelty and brutality which slaves faced in their everyday lives. It was of astronomical importance and would be of great importance later on in history. Excuse me, mister. May I relieve myself now?
Oh, please, sir, sit down.
But
Sit down. Sit down. Well, a man named Stephen Douglas proposed organizing the territories west of Missouri and Iowa to become territories of Kansas and Nebraska, expanding the nation to the north. This occurred in 1854 and was known as the Kansas-Nebraska Act. Are you following me? Good. This is very serious information and is not found in 93.2% of textbooks. Is this a joke? No, I'm done.
What? Wait, sir.
Mr. Roth. Brago Roth!
Bleeding Kansas, did you say? Oh, that was a big one, if I do say so myself. In 1856, by part of Waterloo Creek, anti-slavery fanatic John Brown and his 4 sons killed 5 slave supporters in unimaginably gruesome ways. This event shocked the nation and helped raise tensions between the two sides.
Well, the Dred Scott decision. Okay. Well, Dred Scott, a slave, sued for his freedom because he had moved to a free state with his owners for several years before moving back to the South. So this then went all the way to the Supreme Court, where the Chief Justice declared that Dred Scott, as a slave, was property and therefore could not file a lawsuit. Also, according to the Fifth Amendment, Congress can't take away property without due process of law or just compensation.
Finally, in 1860, according to the Book of Text, or as the common Homo sapien may call it, textbook, the conflict reached its climax with the election of President Lincoln. He won, barely, by the skin of his teeth. Mainly because the South simply did not have as many people as the North. After this, the South seceded, starting with South Carolina. To enlighten yourself further on this subject, I would recommend reading my thesis entitled President Lincoln, A Life Well Lived.
(1861) Fort Sumter in Charleston Harbor, attacked by the Confederates. Thousands of shots were fired, no lives were lost. Thus began Civil War.
Well, I say, Caddish, that was quite the motion picture.
Rated R? Pa, should be rated at least NC-17.
Quite. Thank you for joining us today, and hopefully you'll join in next week too, when we cover moon landing, fact
Or fiction. This has been BBC's Tea Time with
Vernon
and McCaddish.
and